Hi, ladies. Welcome to day one of our 30-day journey together. I'm so glad you are here. Whether you've been a pastor's wife forever, for 20 years, or for 20 minutes, I want you to know you are not alone. Um, Today, we're starting a series which will go on for about 7 days, then another one will go on for another 7 days, and so on and so forth. So, our series for this week is our identity and calling, your identity and calling as a pastor's wife. And there's so much to say around this issue of identity and calling. Many times we can feel lost. Many times we can feel like we don't have a sense of self-worth or identity or what have you. So today I want to be talking about the weight of the call, the weight and the wonder of the call. Some days, to be honest, some days feel great. Some days you feel like, you've just eaten the angel food and you are just about to fly. And then other days feel like you're carrying a ton of bricks. So this series is about honest conversations, daily encouragement, a place for you. I want you to find a place here to feel seen and refreshed. Now, I'll start by saying that the weight is real. It's not, it's not all in your mind. It's real. Being here is not a walk in the park. So many people have expectations of us. You're expected to be available, to be approachable, to be anointed, and to be unbothered by it all at once. You have silent expectations from church, from family, from even yourself. Let me adjust this a little bit so you can see my face better. I just feel like my glasses, and I apologize, my glasses are doing a number. Maybe I take them off. Okay. All right. Pardon me. I didn't really wear makeup. I'm just trying to make this doable, considering all the things, all the schedules to be juggled and stuff like that. I want to make it easy, doable. I want to be able to do this with you for the next 30 days, right? All right, so you have so many expectations of yourself. Now, remember what I said in my book, Dear Pastor's Wife. I'm going to reach out and get it. I hope you have a copy of this book. This is a manual for pastor's wife in the 21st century. Remember where I talked about the fact that you can bend in so many different ways that you don't even recognize yourself anymore. Why? Because you are bending for people. You are bending for people in church, and not just the church as a whole. You are bending for the the women's group. You are bending for the older mothers. You are bending for the men. You are bending for the young men, for the for the older men. And when I say bending, I'm talking about all the expectations that you are trying to meet, bending over backwards, trying to meet. And after a while, you may not recognize yourself anymore. In fact, let me go ahead and let me read a portion of the book, right? About discovering yourself, discovering your purpose. And I wrote here, I remember as an adolescent, I attended a fellowship and I was asked to fill out a form that asked what I thought my calling was. I left that box blank. I had no clue what God's call upon my life looked like. I knew I would be a pastor's wife, but I did not know the specifics of my call beyond that. And many times we come into this and we know, okay, I'm a pastor's wife now, but the specifics can really get us confused. All right, I go on to talk about different things about how you can discover your purpose and what have you. There's so much good stuff I could read from here. Let me put that aside for a bit. I'll come back to the book either today or maybe tomorrow. I'll come back to the book, right? Ministry is beautiful, but don't let's pretend that beauty doesn't come with pressure. Right? On the outside, even when people see us on the stage, especially on days when we're looking nice and beautiful, and your outfit is well put together, and you had time, maybe to do your makeup that day, people can see you from the outside and want to be in your shoes. So it can look beautiful, but don't let's pretend. It comes with pressure as well. All right. But you know what? Um, there's a wonder to it all. There's a miracle to it all. Let me talk a bit about the beauty that goes beyond um, the surface, the superficial things, the beauty that's beyond the fleeting things, the things that are temporal, right? Let's go deeper and look at some of the things that are really truly beautiful about ministry, about being a pastor's wife. One thing is seeing the lives of people being transformed. Let's never forget the wonder of it all. To see somebody come into your church a certain way, and as a result of your influence, your husband's influence, the word they are hearing in the church, the influence of the church community you have built, that they are beginning to look different. They are beginning to think different. And then miracles are beginning to happen in their lives, right? And they're beginning to aspire to greater things. When I look at my many years in ministry, and I think of the many young women that have found their spouses in church, right? Many young men that have found great spouses in church, and I see some of those marriages today. I'm grateful to God. I'm grateful to God that there's a beauty that I get to witness in lives being transformed. Let's not forget that. Let's not forget that as a result of our own influence, our influence, lives are being changed. The devil will want us to lose the joy in that. The joy we can have in seeing the lives of people that we once cut hands with and prayed for, and seeing their lives live out the manifestations of the things we once prayed about. They will want us to lose the joy in all that. Let's not forget the wonder in that, okay? Seeing your husband walk in his calling and being a help to him in that. Let's not lose the wonder of that I'm a great help. I was called to help, and I help, and I'm seeing the person that I help walk in his calling. Now, in this day and age where women want to go for more, which rightfully should, and women want to walk away from the limiting factors, and we can become so focused on our development or lack thereof, and even have pity parties for ourselves, and forget that we do have a strong call upon our lives, a primary call to help somebody in the work of the ministry. And there's a wonder in that. The wonder is that person is truly walking in their calling, getting a front row seat to the miraculous. And I think I talked about it in my first point. It's a wonder, families are being formed. I think about our church, for example, and even though I'm not directly involved in the couples ministry, I'm not the one who is running it. We have a beautiful, beautiful couple who does it in our church. But to see the work they are doing, and to see families being established, to see the children's church, and to see children growing in the nurture and admonition of the Lord, those are things we should remind ourselves of, that we get to do this. Not that I have to do this. I get to have the front row seat in the lives of people as their lives are being transformed. I remember many years ago, I remember the moment it first hit me that, being a pastor's wife is a great position of privilege, because I get to be an influence for good in a community of faith, and that my work can count in people's lives being beautified, right? So let's not forget that, and let's not forget the fact that you were chosen for this. You were chosen for this. It's not just a random call. It's not just a random occurrence. God handpicked you. God handpicked you for this, right? He chose you on purpose because he knows you can do this. In my early ministry phase, I felt very unqualified. You know, the little portion I read from Dear Pastor's Wife talks about that I had to fill out a form even before I knew I was going to be a pastor's wife, but even before I became a pastor's wife, when I filled out this form, I didn't know what God's call upon my life was. But over time, as I've worked this out, I've seen his call as a teacher of the word, as a pastor, as an influencer of women, even this Dear Pastor's Wife ministry. You know, I didn't know at the beginning of my journey that God had been intentional in picking me for this. Many times people will tell me, you are the only person that can be married to your husband. Just like you listening to me right now, you are the only person that can be married to that man that God has called, right? All right. God always reminds me that he has qualified me for this. He qualifies those that he calls. The same way he qualifies you, you are qualified for this. God qualifies those that he calls. Now, I want to encourage you with the scriptures from the book of Matthew, chapter 11, verse 28 to 30. All right, Jesus said there, come to me, all of you who are weary. Let's actually read it. Matthew 11, 28 to 30. And I want this to be a scripture that will encourage you today, and not just today, but I want to encourage you in your journey. My intention is to encourage you throughout this month, right? I'm committing to you throughout this month. Then Jesus said, come to me, all of you who are weary and carry heavy burdens, and I will give you rest. Take my yoke upon you. Let me teach you, because I'm humble and gentle at heart, and you will find rest for your souls. For my yoke is easy and my burden will give you light. I want to pray for you, dear pastor's wife, today, that you receive rest, you receive a light load instead of a heavy burden. You receive a yoke that is light instead of a heavy burden today, in the name of Jesus. How? You receive the grace that comes with your call. I pray for you that you receive great grace today, that the things that have been heavy and difficult become easy for you. I want you to join me throughout this month. I'm committing to doing this recordings. My background will be different from day to day. I'll just let this catch me as I go, because I'm a busy woman too, just like you are. But I want you to make sure you join me throughout this month. I'll be talking about different things relating to our call. Also, there are two things. Please listen to this. Two things I want you to do. If you are in the United Kingdom, or you know anyone in the UK, I am coming June the 20th to 22nd to have a retreat for pastors' wives and for women in ministry. Please, please, please register. Register to be a part of it. Yeah, registration will cost you, because it's going to cover your accommodation, your feeding, and the wonderful time we're going to be having together. So join me in the UK. Details are in there's going to be details. I'm going to leave the registration details, the link to register, down below. And I'm also going to be leaving details all over my social media, and invite someone to be a part of it. Number 2, my book, Dear Pastor's Wife, you should have it by now if you're a pastor's wife. If you don't have it, go to Amazon. I'll leave the link in the description below. Go to Amazon and order Dear Pastor's Wife, the manual for pastors' wives. People have read this all over the world, and they've just told me what a blessing it's been to them. I will read from it tomorrow, and starting from tomorrow, I'll read a section of the book. All right, and I'm Pastor May. In case this is your first time seeing me, I'm Pastor May Ijishasa. I am a pastor's wife of 26 years, and I'm all about encouraging pastors' wives to walk in the fullness of God's call upon their lives, and to do it with ease, in rest, and to thrive at doing it. God bless you. See you tomorrow. Bye.